in Boston. Kentucky's really big right now. Oklahoma's very big. Arkansas is very big. They're because they are low budget. Like they're shooting where there's tax incentives, and like there's not really one here in LA, and it's very expensive to shoot here. So, yeah. I mean,
hey George, how soon before we go live?
We're live.
Oh, we are live.
Oh my gosh,
we are?
Oh, well, thanks for telling us.
Didn't even know.
Gee.
Okay, so now.
How long have we been live? Were we live when I said I committed that crime?
I didn't hear it.
Yes, I didn't hear it either. But anyway, welcome back to Filter 90211 with my wonderful co-host, Chris Slone.
Hi, Tiffany.
Hello.
Happy Sunday. I'm
Happy
great.
Sunday to you. Thank you for bringing Christy Murdoch. And I'd like to introduce to the audience one of my favorite Vietnamese American celebrity. And best of all, she was a good friend of my late aunt. Please welcome Thanh Lan.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
And Krista and Tiffany. I'm so glad to be with you guys today. I drove from Orange County, South California.
How was the trip?
Well, it was raining a little bit. To tell the truth, I'm not really alive at this time. Usually at this time, I'm sleeping.
Well, we need some caffeine. George, you have any caffeine in an IV that we can hook up here?
Well, I began as a singer. That's why I sang, worked very late at night. And when I came home, I had to watch a movie before going to sleep. And I wake up at 11. So today is kind of hard for me to be here at 11 with you guys.
Thank you for being here. It's a sacrifice for her.
Why is it that a lot of us are more creative at nighttime?
At night,
I find the
yes.
same with me.
Yes.
I'm
Same
more creative
thing
at
here.
night.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because I always told my friends, I am the wife of a vampire.
Maybe that's it. We all married to vampires.
Well, somebody say something. I'm not
So how is it to be married to a vampire?
You tell us. You married to a vampire too, because you're more creative at night, just like the rest
No,
of us.
he is not married to. He is.
He is a vampire. Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Well, you know.
I do like to nibble every now and then.
Yeah, I lately learned that all of us are actors. And it's great to know that I'm among friends. Friends forever. Because if you love acting, you love everybody. Oh, sorry. I'm going to break everything here, George.
Break whatever you want.
All right.
You're a guest. You can
I'll
do
break
whatever
you
you
too.
want.
Oh, I don't think he's breakable.
No, I'll try later. Excuse me, I like to joke all day long. I smile, I laugh, I say whatever coming to my mind with no reason.
Well, that's why we're here, just to
Yes.
talk.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that you said we're all friends.
Yes.
That made me feel good.
yeah.
Okay.
I agree with that. I think there's a kinship that you feel with other actors because we are part of a very, very small percentage of people that do this job. And it is so unique and so different than just like a normal person's life. And like talking about being in relationships, like being in a relationship with an actor, it's difficult because we leave for a month at a time to go film a movie, and then we come home, and then we have to work at another job, and then we leave again, and it's hard on relationships, and I feel like there's only actors understand.
I
what that's
know,
like.
I know. And I don't think that you can be happy living with another actor.
Right? Yeah, I think it'd be difficult.
We don't have time for each other. And we are not us. We are somebody else in the coming up movie.
Right. No, I agree. I think like it's difficult to be in a relationship with another actor because like you almost need someone who is more grounded.
Yes.
Like like has a firm foundation. They're almost like not in the business at all. Like they just have a normal life, because your life is so crazy that you almost need that, like that stable, you know, concrete person.
Help me be me again.
Yeah, exactly. Like bring
I
me back.
understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Yes,
For sure.
Yeah.
What about egos, though? Do we have egos that maybe somebody not in the industry won't have? So if you have two of the similar egos in the same household, it could really be a problem.
Oh,
because we need, as performers, we need to be seen and heard, and with that comes a baggage.
No,
Yeah.
I have to disagree with that, because people are not in this industry. Sometimes they have the bigger ego than we do. Almost
true.
unrealistic.
That's
I
true.
worked for the city. I was a school psychologist for 25 years in New York City, and you're talking about big egos. And these people are not at all a performer or have any kind of artistic talent.
Well, if you love each other, you gotta help the other shine more. Not having your own ego to to break her.
But then
That's
who's going to
true.
shine my ego then?
How about you shine each other's ego?
Yes.
Could mine be shined just a little more though? You know. Like,
Sometimes, depend on the times. How's that? Take turn.
okay,
Yeah.
I'll try.
Yes.
I'll try.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do, and the other one is going to do what he or she has to do to help you.
So it's teamwork.
Yes.
Just like in any relationship, it does take teamwork. I think one of the things I've learned in relationships over the years is, you know, to a point you have to put your own feelings aside at times and your wants and needs, and you have to have an open mind. You got to be a bit humble. The thing I learned about relationships is you got to be willing to give more than you get. And I think if you do that with the right person, you're going to get what you need. But you've got to be willing to give as much as possible and do what it takes.
Well, you should not be a movie star at home. You try to shine when you work, but not at home.
I mean, I'm not. I mean, I just have like a red carpet, and you know, there's lights, and you know, and when I walk in, they shine, and I'm the star when I walk in my house. So, no, but I agree. When you go home, you're you. You know, you're not the person that's the entertainer, the performer, even though you might be trying to figure out your characters and doing your lines at home, but you're still you. And I think that's the difference, is that when you're on set, you're one person. When you come home, you're a different, you're the person that you were before you went on set. Does that make sense?
I agree when you said we should be humble at home. Yes. I have done like around 30 leads in Vietnam. But when I came here, I only continued to sing. I did not do any kind of movie here until
2021.
2021. I met her again and we played together.
In the
she
movie.
played my
Sister-in-law.
sister-in-law.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we were friends since then. That's why I'm here today
we
with
found
you guys.
each other since then.
And I'm happy to know you two, Chris and Christy. I hope that in the future we will meet again, even just for a coffee, because I don't think that we are going to work together, but because that is very, very difficult. I hope I will work with her, but you never know. In this world, I mean, in this business, movie business, you never know what you are going to do next.
So was that your first U.S.-based film that you did?
Yes, with her, yes.
How exciting.
Especially I was acting in English. Long ago in Vietnam, I was the lead in a Japanese movie, and I had to speak English in that movie too. And that one with her would be the second one.
It is difficult I still have a hard time with English, and I've been doing it my whole life, and I still mess up words and lines. So
Imagine
That's
doing that in
not
your third
true.
language.
Where did you come from?
I'm
just
from the
kidding,
U.S.,
you know.
but I still have a hard time
Somehow
talking.
we don't
Sometimes I can't
believe
even
you.
talk.
Somehow we don't believe you.
I don't believe you either.
I've grown a respect for performers that can speak multi-languages and perform in several languages. I think it's unbelievable because even though you speak a native language and you need to deliver lines and be in character, you still have a challenge. But doing that with a secondary language,
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that. So I have the highest respect for both of you for being able to master that.
Thank you.
Who said
Actually, English is not my second language. It's my third language.
Oh, well.
And who said I mastered that?
She
If
did.
you could perform professionally, I think you've mastered it enough to get paid to do it, yes.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was very happy to meet her again, especially when I heard her speak English so fluently. And I learned that she lived in New York before. That's why
right.
when I heard you said New York,
Yeah.
it's the right place to be an actor.
Well, actually, I feel it's the right place for an education. I got all my other education after college in New York, and all my dance training, all my acting training, they're all in New York.
Wow.
Because everything is close by, so it's great. I can work full time, go to this class, go to another class, and the
Great.
same on the weekend.
Right, right. Yeah.
So I heard some time ago that you are going to New York.
Yeah, I'm making a big life change.
Yes.
And so I think I have decided that I am moving to New York City. So it probably will be at the end of April, mid to end of April. Yeah.
Well, in June, I'm going to New York
Nice.
to sing. It's a very important event in New York every year, a day of multicultural culture of many countries together, and I will be there singing Vietnamese songs. And
Well, you'll have to let me know so I can come see.
yes, I will tell you. Maybe we'll be there in June.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
We'll be together again.
That'd
Well,
be great.
I'll be there to help my friends keep the Vietnamese flag in the United States.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, that sounds really exciting, and it sounds like you have a lot of respect from people to be
From my
chosen to do
community.
that in your community,
yes.
which then brings some responsibility, right? That you're
Of
representing your
course.
country.
Of course, I'm not representing Vietnam. I am
Not now,
representing
yeah.
the Vietnamese community
Yes.
in California.
Right. Vietnam's the communist country now. We don't represent Vietnam.
I dare not represent them.
No, we don't.
Well, and I have heard that you said that during the pandemic you had the chance to do this and that. For me, during the pandemic, I was so sad because there were no more concerts for me to sing,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was staying home, and at night I was writing this book.
Yeah,
Very
that's the
exciting!
hope.
Wow.
That's awesome.
It's
Tell
my,
us
my
about it.
autobiography. It's about my life. But first, I began with my grandparents' lives, and then my parents, and my life, and then my daughter in
You
California.
want to hold the book up again so everybody could see it?
It's
All the-
a tumultuous
the audience?
life. I didn't have,
I have one.
a very peaceful life. It was a tumultuous life. So, but I'm not going to tell anything in this book because I would prefer my friends to read it.
Absolutely.
But I could
and
read-
where can they purchase the book?
Well, contact me.
Okay.
Or I have a library in California, but you could email me at Catherine with a C, Catherine Pham. Pham is my last name. Catherine Pham, Pham, Pham. We pronounce PH like an F. Catherine Pham 2005 at yahoo.com, and I will respond you right away on the same day.
Yes, she
Yes.
does.
Excellent.
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 I try to be in good contacts with my fans. I have millions of fans in Vietnam, and I don't know how many here in the United States, because the Vietnamese
Millions.
community are living here and there in many states. But I think that we are 2 millions now, Vietnamese in the United
Wow.
States. Yes.
And would you autograph a copy if somebody asked for that?
Of course, I autographed all the books that I send.
Excellent.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah. How long did it take you to write that?
It took me 4 years to write this.
Wow.
It's a 400 pages book.
Wow. That's incredible.
And I was crying while writing.
So it was very healing, probably.
Yes, I feel lighter when I have said everything in my mind, because I kept them in my mind for a long time, and nobody understood me as well as now. So writing is something that I long for since I was 15. After reading Gone with the Wind, I said, she is a woman, she could write a book like that. One day I will write a book as long as that. So I am very happy having this book, and my fans are asking me to write a second book, and I am.
Nice.
Yay!
That's amazing.
Yeah. But it's no more an autobiography. Of course, I have said everything already.
So it sounds like writing was a bit cleansing for you emotionally.
Yes, helped me a lot.
You know, and I believe that it's important for all of us to be able to let that out somehow and cleanse ourselves. And some of us write.
Yes.
Some of us are performers and we perform and we take that and put it into our performance. Some of us find other ways. We work out, athletics, other hobbies. And I think if we don't let that out, like you said you felt lighter when you got it out. And I think holding in things, even if they're good things, sometimes it's not good. I think you got to let it out and tell people that you're happy, or if you're sad.
Yes.
But why is it that we struggle to do that as people, to allow it to flow out? Why do we have a hard time doing that?
Well, because somebody doesn't have best friend. Yes, to tell everything in your heart. You have to keep it to yourself, and it hurts.
Yeah, and I think sometimes saying something out loud, it hurts in the moment. And so we avoid that pain, even though getting it out and feeling that pain is what we need to have to release it. And I think we hold on to it for so long because we're just avoiding that initial pain of talking about it and getting it out. And I mean, I know I can definitely say that for myself.
Well, Christine knows how to talk. Sometimes, I'm thinking something, but it's not getting out of my mouth.
Well, you're also communicating in your third language.
I know.
So I'm sure that if you were speaking in your first language, being able to say what's actually in your heart, it would be so much easier.
Of course. Actually, at first I wrote this in English because I was aiming the young generation. And for example, you don't know anything about my country. So if after reading this book, you love my country and us more, that's what I was aiming. But after that, I translated this in Vietnamese because I have more fans reading Vietnamese than English. So it was a lot of work to do.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure that sometimes there's things that don't exactly translate,
You have to think in the other language. You cannot translate word by word.
Yeah, that would be difficult.
Translate the feeling.
The
Yes,
feeling,
yes.
yeah.
That's what I do sometimes with poetry.
Yes. especially poetry.
Yeah.
And especially in Vietnamese, we have some slang you cannot translate. You have to understand the slang.
Right.
It's the same thing with the English, right?
Right.
I think what Christy said was important, that sometimes when you have to say something at the moment, it hurts. So I think that's why sometimes we avoid communicating what we're feeling, because when you actually say it, it becomes even more real and it's painful in the moment. But I think we have to overcome that fear and actually embrace the pain. And I think part of that pain sometimes is being honest with yourself. Because sometimes we feel pain and we're going through something because we're not being honest with ourselves. We don't want to admit something is not right.
Right.
Or we don't want to admit we need to make a change. And if you say it out loud, it becomes real or more real. And you sometimes want to avoid that because you don't want to hear the truth.
Right.
Even though you know it's there, it's in your head, it's in your heart knocking to get out. And you're trying to not let it out, because if I let it out, it really becomes real then.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a challenge that we have. It's a fear of reality and being honest with what we know we need to do and say.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that as humans, we don't want to feel pain. You know, it's terrible. It hurts. We don't want to cry. We don't want to feel suffering. We don't want to feel grief. But it is the most natural part of life, right? I mean, loss is something that every single person experiences at some point in their life multiple times over. And so I think if we can, as actors, you know, I always try to tell myself whenever I'm going through a period of suffering or going through a period of intense pain, like I say to myself, like, I want to use this one day. I want to use this and have this pain be useful to me. Like, make me a better person, make me love harder, make me more vulnerable, like, keep me open and make me stronger, and then, like, make me a better performer, like, make me understand the human condition better, and more colorfully, I don't know if that's a word, more vibrantly. And I think that's one thing as actors that we're kind of called to do, is to understand humanity and understand emotion and loss and grief and like the strongest parts of humanity, right? Like being scared, being in love, being in intense grief. Like, these are all the things that we see when we watch television or when we watch a movie, because we're watching something that we can connect to.
Yes.
And yeah,
And I think that sometimes when we act, we have to use some pain we felt before.
oh yeah,
Use it to do your acting. So sometimes I told to my friends, if you have not known sufferance, you wouldn't be an actor. You will always have a happy face. How can you act with a happy face all the time?
I don't know if I've ever done that. But, you know, now let's talk about something. How do you cry on cue then? So, I mean, we're all performers. We've all at one time had to have an emotional scene.
Yes.
Right. So Christy,
what's my trick?
How do you trigger crying?
You know, the way that I explain it, and I tell people that I have like a Rolodex of thoughts, okay? Because sometimes one thought, it won't get me there. Like, it's a sad thought, but it's not triggering the emotion the way I need it to, because sometimes we're more raw for certain emotions or certain experiences than others. So if that's not working, then I go to something else, like losing my mother or losing my dog, and so I latch on to a thought and I go into complete detail, and I just think like the most detailed situation, like coming home after my dog has passed and like seeing his toys around the house and having to like pick up his toys and like what that would feel like. And so I really, really rely on my imagination if it's something that hasn't happened, something that I fear. So I just dive into my deepest fears and then also my deepest pains in my past. I dive head on and I just go to that place. I go to it as deep as I can and I'm there. And also, it's a combination of that, but it's also a combination of like feeling, when I am crying as an actor. I know this is really weird, but I almost like pay attention to what I'm feeling in my body. Where is it feeling in my body? Is it in my heart? Is it in my eyes? Like, what is that feeling? So that when I need to recreate that moment, and manufacture it again, I know what that felt like. I remember it, and it's like creating a sense memory of tears and pain and like what that feels like. And there's some actors that I know that can trigger it just by holding their eyes open for a long time or squeezing their stomach really hard or different things like that. But for me, it has to come from an emotional place, and for it to feel real for myself. And if it feels real for me, then it will look real on camera because it's honest. And so that's kind of what I go through. Yeah,
so you
it's hard.
had 2 new Lifetime movies that were just released in the last week, right?
In the last like 2 weeks, I had 2 movies come out. Yeah.
And you were very emotional. You were very emotional at times in those movies. Were you using the same strategy that you just talked about? Oh,
absolutely. There in the movie that just came out on Sunday, there was a scene in there where it took us about 2 hours to film the scene because there was 3 of us in the scene and the camera was moving in a circle, okay, on a track. So it was like there was a lot of movement happening in the scene, and it took us about 2 hours to film it, but it's only on screen for like 30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So I had to be crying for that entire time because like when you're catching someone else's close up, they scan up across me. So I wanted it to be consistent throughout the entire scene, like I wanted to have tears and not be faking it, So because I feel like sometimes or not sometimes, but I feel like if you're faking it on screen, the camera can tell in a second. The camera tells no lies. It sees all the lies.
Yes.
So I really, when I say I give 110% of myself, I really do. Like I dive into the deepest parts of myself and I give everything that I can in that moment. And, it was difficult because I had to bring up tears every time the director rolled action. And so, yeah, it was hard.
Yes, I would say so. I think theater is easier to bring out the tears, right? In a live theater.
Because it's continues
Yeah.
and you go on.
Yeah.
While when you film, it's cut. And then you have to do it again.
Exactly.
And after a scene like that, when you go home, you have no more energy.
No.
You gave everything you had.
Right.
So you were crying for about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Like off and on and like, and it's difficult because like when they're changing a setup, like I have makeup and hair coming over to me, I have people moving lights, and I'm just trying to stay in it, but not cry, but just trying to stay where it's like right on the verge, which is so difficult. So you're like right on the verge of tears and you're trying to stay there. And then, but also I'm like, when I say I have that Rolodex for that long, like one thought is going to get a little dry. right? Like it's going to get a little old. So then I have to move on to a new thought, something even more devastating. And so I'm like having to move on to something even more scary that is a huge fear of mine. And so I'm just going through this Rolodex of thoughts of like what's going to trigger me now, because after a certain period of time, that one thought, it gets you get desensitized to it, you know. So I'm having
you have to keep it fresh,
right? Exactly.
Because like you said, and that's interesting, because don't we desensitize things at times in life? And you may do it as a performer, but in life I think we do a lot, and it's when we're exposed to something for so long, we desensitize it, because I think it's kind of information overload, or you know, you're exposed to something for so long, it's no longer a huge impact. Does that make sense?
Well, sometimes we have to use our imagination, and you have to imagine that you are that person. You are not acting. You become that person, and you feel, and you act, and you talk like the one you are imagining in your mind. That person should be like this. I'll be that one. And you totally forgot who you are really. Even your name, you think you are the other person.
So what do you do if you've desensitized as a real person to something? You have sensory overload on something. As a human being, as a person, you're no longer sensitive to something, but yet you now have to play a character that is sensitive to that. So then how do you bring realism into that if you as a person are desensitized, but your character isn't? How do you do that?
I think that for me, music, I think, is really, it helps you to get into your heart, right? And out of your head. And so a lot of times we all have music and songs that can bring us back to a time, a place, a feeling. Music, I think, is really good at connecting you with your emotions. There's certain songs I can listen to and just start crying, you know? And because it connects me. That's the thing, is like, as actors, we have to get to a place of empathy, of feeling our feelings and letting that pain kind of come bubble to the surface. And I think we all just have to kind of figure out, like, what are our tricks to get into our heart? How do we get into our heart and get those feelings bubbled up? And to me, if I'm having trouble connecting to a character, then Christy has to connect with her feelings. And if I can get a similar feeling as what the character would need for that moment, even if I don't connect with it personally, I just have to get something that gets me in that realm, you know? And then I think I can use that from an honest place there.
Yeah, I like the way she's talking about music.
Yes. Absolutely.
Especially as a singer, I'm sure.
Yes. Because, you know, for me, I am always divided into two persons. One side the actor and one side the singer. And we live two totally different lives. The singers live at night. And the actor has to be there at 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
Sometimes 5.
Whatever time they tell you. So sometimes if I do this, I have to forget that and totally forget the singer. But I do love music. Music is my life. Acting is, well, something that I love, not my life.
I believe in music as far as how you can get your emotions balanced and how you can get back to yourself, because I think the music we listen to stimulates our feelings and thoughts, our true feelings and thoughts. I think that's why music is such a wonderful thing to have in life, because it seems to to bring us back and ground us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
I don't know what we would do without music.
Yeah, very healing. The
Yes.
music can really heal you.
Especially when you listen to one song and I heard this the first time when and where, when I was at what age, whatever. Well,
Bring
and
back.
it is bringing you back
Yeah.
into the past,
Bring back all kinds
and
of
you
memories.
are one more time the teenager or whatever.
Or a child
Yes.
or a young adult.
It really triggers memories to the point where they're really vivid sometimes.
Absolutely.
You know, when you hear a certain song you haven't heard for a while, it'll bring you back to that moment, whether
Yeah.
it was a happy moment, sad,
Yes.
scared, whatever, loving.
Yeah, and I think sometimes listening to a song can articulate feelings that we haven't learned how to articulate yet. Like hearing the song lyrics, I think, like for instance, there's a song like Adele, like her lyrics are so beautiful and it's almost like
I love
poetry.
Adele.
Yeah, and one of the first times I heard one of the songs that she wrote, Easy on Me, I listening and hearing the lyrics and relating so much to it, I just cried. I cried so hard because she was saying something that I hadn't learned how to say yet, but I had felt. And so it opened me up, and it was like, oh my God, she's saying what I'm feeling, but I didn't know how to put it into words.
Yes, she
Yeah.
was using her pain to create.
And I think that's what we do as actors. We use our pain to create, and we use our happiness to create.
Yes.
And I think, what we are called to such a hard, a challenging life journey as actors and performers, because we, like regular humans, they just get to live their life. We have to also create it. You know?
We have 9 lives like the cats.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of lives, and
This is the year of the cat.
the year of the cat.
So what does that mean then if it's the year of the cat? What should I expect this year?
Ask her, she's a cat.
What should I expect?
What can I say? Each of us had different karma. I don't know what to expect either.
But in a philosophical way, what is the year of the cat supposed to mean?
Well, nothing. Every year has good and bad.
Well, I hope more good this year.
Yes, I pray, like you say, the pandemic
I
somehow.
hear some something. Is that my mic?
And what was last year? What was it the year of last year?
The tiger?
The tiger.
The year of the tiger.
Tiger.
Okay. We're doing a little audio little audio work here. Thanks, George.
Thanks,
you.
George.
Thank you, George.
The mic is good. Would you like to hear me sing?
Yes, please.
Oh, wow, yes.
Absolutely.
There was one song I love so very much when I was young, meaning that I'm no more young. Fly Me to the Moon.
I love that song.
It's a great
Okay,
song.
let's fly together.
Let's do it.
Why?
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. That's my love for everybody.
Thank you so much.
I do love that song.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it makes you fly.
Yes. It does.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to be here with you guys, talking a little bit about my book, my music. And I would be happy to be back again with you sometime if you call
Hope
me.
so. We will.
If you like me.
Absolutely.
Are you
So-
kidding? We love you.
So you've done musical theater.
Musical theater. It was not Broadway show though. It was music or theater separately.
So you've never actually done a musical theater show on stage where it was, acting and singing?
No, just act
Well, you need to do that.
On
Or
film,
sing.
yeah.
Yes, it's your time. You need to do that.
on film.
She
No,
did on film when
No,
I was
it
little.
was some song for the film, not the character singing. Well, maybe one day.
Let's hope
How
so.
about you, Christy? Have you done musical theater?
Oh my gosh, you don't want to hear me sing. No way.
Try it, try it.
No. Seriously, we'll lose viewers. I don't want to do that. But no, I've done theater. I started out in theater. I went to college in North Carolina. I went to the University of North Carolina, Wilmington, and I immediately, I had never taken an acting class, but I discovered acting being an extra on a TV show, and I was like, that looks like so much fun. That's what I want to do.
What was the show?
I think it was either Dawson's Creek or One Tree Hill. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Dawson's Creek.
Dawson's Creek was
Yeah.
famous. I've heard of it.
Yeah. And so I just watching the actors, it was kind of like, I think in life we always have these like light bulb moments, right? Where something shifts in us. So our life changes in that moment. And I think that was a moment for me where I was like, I don't know why, I've never done it before, but that's what I want to do. And when I went to college, I just immediately declared a theater major, and I took my first acting class, and it made me like blossom like a flower, I feel like, and I figured out who I was. And and so I did theater back in North Carolina, and over the pandemic, something's going on with my microphone. Over the pandemic, I because obviously we were in quarantine, I did a play on Zoom, and with a bunch of girls from my acting class. We just all kind of got together, and we studied an entire play, and we performed it from start to finish. We recorded it, and then we edited it together, and then we showed it at a certain time. And so it was very much like doing a real play, because we didn't cut. We filmed the whole thing, but then at the end we edited it so that people could enjoy it, in the format that we had created it in. And now the girl who was my co-lead of that play that I did, she's doing a Broadway show right now. So
Oh, wow. And who is that?
her name is Jasmine Raphael, and she is in the Broadway show called Anne Juliet. And so she's performing on Broadway right now. Yeah,
That's
so I'm
wonderful.
extremely
So you're going to
proud
be
of
seeing her soon then.
I think so. Yeah, she doesn't know yet. No one, like literally, you guys are the first people to know this decision I've made.
Don't worry.
Oh,
it's
very
our
honored.
secret. Nobody else knows.
That's right. We keep a secret. Keep
okay.
our lips tight, right, Chris?
I know.
I won't say anything.
I still have to call my agent after this. So my agent doesn't even know. So, yeah, I'm excited for a new life change. I'm excited for a fresh start. I know that wherever I land it's going to be great. And I think, there's this part of actors, I think, that, or maybe just me, where I think of like, oh, if I move to another market, the casting directors in this market will forget about me. And it's like, no, those same casting directors cast stuff all over the country.
Great.
So, I mean,
now it is global.
right, yeah, right now with COVID and after COVID happening, so much of acting is self-tapes, and like, you know, there's been this huge conversation around self-tapes and how it's kind of opened the door for people in other markets to be seen and where they wouldn't normally be seen, and opening up the opportunity. And so I'm not as worried as I think I would have been like years prior. So to start fresh and start over in a new market, because really I feel like I've established myself and my name well enough with a lot of casting directors that no matter where I am, they know me and they know where I am. So.
I know that you are Christy,
Mm-hmm.
but your family name?
Murdoch.
Murdoch.
Mm-hmm.
Christy Murdoch. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
What was your first play at UNC?
The Crucible, actually. Yeah, I did The Crucible, and which is really funny because I kind of had like a full circle moment because I just got back from Salem, where I was filming, Salem, Massachusetts, where I was
The
filming.
Witch of Salem.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I was
Salem.
filming a project in like Boston and Salem area, and like that project had a lot to do with like witches and things like that. And I was like, man, how full circle is it? Because the very first play I ever did was The Crucible, and it was about the Salem witch trials, and I got to explore Salem, and I mean, it was really, really cool and such a beautiful like full circle moment for me.
Yeah, very exciting. Actually, I'm crazy about movies. Since I came here in 1993, I have been watching 2 movies every night.
Oh wow,
Well,
that's awesome. What's your favorite movie?
which one? Well, I have lots of favorite movies because I found in them, in each movie, something interesting to learn. So,
Yes.
for me, watching movies is not about watching some stories. No, I learned by watching movies. Oh, what a great view! How did they think about this angle? So high, and in this scene, she played marvelously. Oh my God! I wish I could do that. That's how I watch movies.
Yeah, we watch it with a critic's eye and like an artist's eye.
Yes, yes.
And it's almost like, you know, I think it's really beautiful when we can watch a movie and lose ourselves and get out of our head and just feel, you know. And I think that's the really beautiful thing about making movies is like that's our goal, right? Is to have the audience
Yes.
feeling.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And when I watch a movie, I feel everything they feel in there. So after watching,
You can go to sleep after.
yes, we can go to sleep after that.
So you said you arrived here in '93?
Yes.
So
30
30
years.
years.
30 years ago. Yes.
And what's the first thing you remember when you think back to 1993 when you arrived here? What stood out the most about being here?
Well, what stood out the most, I wrote in my book. First thing, it's not like in Saigon. I saw nobody in the streets. I just saw cars. This side, especially at night, one side only red lights from the back of the other cars, and on the other side, yellow lights. That's all I saw when I came here.
That's called LA traffic.
I said, how awful. I never see anybody, just cars. I won't have friends here. But now I have a lot of friends, including you.
Well, and you know, talking about New York,
Yes.
in New York, there's a lot of cars, but there's just people.
Everywhere.
At least
Everywhere.
pre-pandemic, there's people everywhere.
There are
Even during the
much
pandemic.
more pedestrians in New York than in LA.
Yeah, everybody walks everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nobody walks in LA. I like to walk in LA, but nobody
Actually,
walks.
we do.
Yeah.
We do.
I love walking.
For our shape, right?
Right. Yeah, you need it, right? I mean, because we're all petite, you know. I feel like you kind of have to stay active.
Yes.
Being a small woman.
Small and thin. You cannot be fat when you are small.
Yes, that was about it.
Now we change the subject.
So Chris was asking her what's her favorite movies. Make me think that one of my favorite movies now of all time is called Don't Bother to Knock. It's very underrated. Starting Marilyn Monroe when she was 24. She played a disturbed babysitter.
Oh.
And
I didn't see
thought
that one.
I haven't
it's
seen
amazing.
it. Wow.
She was amazing. Like she wasn't playing a sex symbol, so people may overlook that. But
Right.
the role, what she played, was incredible.
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to
Well-
watch
Yeah, it's
that.
on YouTube.
Okay. Okay.
For me, she was a great actress.
Yes.
Not only because she was sexy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Like my coach always said, she did something that many people try to imitate, and none of them have accomplished.
She had charm without having to show that I am charming. She was naturally charming.
And in many ways, she's very brilliant. She was very brilliant without trying.
Yeah.
And she could sing too.
Yeah. And I think she really cared about being a good actress. She really cared about the craft of acting and took it very, very seriously. And I think, and she had a tortured life. And I think that's one thing that I think as actors, I'm not saying that all actors kind of have this tortured life, but maybe we don't get desensitized to it, and we stay open and we stay raw, and I think that's what helps us to be actors and to be able to perform and call back to our certain memories that we've gone through and things like that.
Yeah. As you said, we overlooked the talent of Marilyn Monroe. I think that the one I saw was The River of No Return.
Yeah. That's a nice one too. But I really love the other one. And there's another one, I forgot the name of it, but she played one of the burlesque dancers. Also on YouTube.
Let's talk about dancing. She dances.
Yes. I was with the Isadora Duncan International Institute for many years, and Isadora Duncan, believe it or not, is movement for film and theater. So when I tried out for theater in the past, and they thought they have to work on me because of the movement, and I didn't say anything. I just did it, and they said, oh, we need to spend half an hour, but we spent like 30 seconds. So that was a blessing.
Wow.
And I also did belly dance.
Oh,
So
wow.
if you go to New York, there's a lot of beautiful belly dancers you can learn.
That's
Yeah.
It's
cool.
great. It's really great.
Yeah, I would love to get
I'll give
into,
you the name
like
and
a
the studio.
movement or
Yes,
dance
yes,
class. That'd
yes.
be great. Because I feel like, yeah, I mean, your body is your
Temple.
Your tool.
temple. And
No,
your
your
tool.
temple. I said your tool.
Yeah, no,
It is a tool.
It is your tool.
It's a phenomenal tool.
Yeah, and you have to learn how to be in your body and feel good in it and use it and own the space and walk with confidence and you know, change your body depending on the character.
Yes,
right?
yes. The way
So-
you walk.
Because you may be playing a character who has terrible self-confidence and you know, who's different from you. So like what does that feel like in your body, and how does someone who is really insecure, how do they hold themselves, how do they walk, and how do they present themselves in a room? And just like playing someone like younger, playing a teenager or something, like a teenager holds their body so different than an adult, you know? So like thinking,
I realize that.
yeah. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen, oh my gosh, there's a show, and I'm blanking on it right now. Oh my gosh, it's on Hulu. oh gosh, I can't remember the name. But anyway, it's these two 30-year-old women who play middle schoolers.
Oh my.
And so and all the kids around them are actually middle school aged. And so I was so impressed by their way of holding themselves, because they change their body and their posture so much to look like a middle schooler and how a middle schooler acts. And so it's very impressive. I'll think of the name, but I just can't.
Not
I'm
easy though.
Sure. No, not easy.
I used to play characters 10 or 15 years younger than me. But not now, to be a teenager again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
For me, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, me neither.
Me neither. I couldn't do it. But actually, we tried to. I took a workshop with the late Jack Gaffine. That's very interesting, because he was the director, and Marilyn Monroe did May Pass at him.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So when I took that class with him, and we had to try to reduce back to our youth, and I couldn't do it. But the person who tried to imitate me, she was this lovely French actress, and she was all theater. She was younger than me, but she was able to do it better.
And I think theater, because theater requires you to be, more animated, if you will, and you sometimes lose that in film and TV,
Yes,
because
yes.
it's a lot of close shots, and other than maybe an establishing shot, you're not moving as much.
Yes.
And I think theater allows you to learn how your body works
Yes.
and what it does and doesn't do, so you can work on that because you're more animated, both vocally and physically. But we're talking about being more physical and changing your physicality based on maybe a character. And I think that's what I really loved about theater when I fell in love with theater, was being able to play with that. And you can do that in theater. You can be rambunctious and overzealous in your movement. It works. Where on film and TV, it needs to be pulled back many times.
Yes.
Yes, you know what? I played someone who thought she was Gertrude Stein once in the theater with the body movement. She's chunky. And I got in.
Now, was she supposed to think that way based on the character? Is that
No, it's a bunch of mentally ill people who think they are someone,
wow.
someone big. And I thought, my character thought she was Gertrude Stein. And she's turtle, and she dressed artistically, and she's chunky.
So how did you play that type of person?
Trying to be crazy.
Rehearsal. Somehow I was able to make myself extended.
So
myself.
you had to move as if you were a larger person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And stutter, and it was fun.
Wearing something flop and then put many.
No, not really. They just tell me to just walk a certain way and do a certain thing, and you can do it after training. After a while, you can do it.
Yeah.
Well, for me, in April, I'm going to do a new drama on stage in Houston, Texas.
Wow.
I'll play a mom, of course. Nowadays, I always play the moms.
And when is this?
April the 2nd in Houston, Texas.
Houston,
wow.
Texas, and the name of the play is?
In Vietnamese, it is in Vietnamese.
What's the name of it?
If you have one more day to live.
If you have one more day to leave.
Yes.
Now, can you say it in Vietnamese?
Nếu còn một ngày để sống.
Oh goodness!
And
yeah.
what's the basis of the story?
Basis. Well, I played a mom who was raped by a certain man, and then she had to live with that man because her husband went to prison.
Is it
It's
during
a politics.
Yeah, is it
very political.
Yeah, is it during?
And then I left the country to be here in the United States.
Okay.
But I went back to Vietnam to look for my son. I'm not going to tell the end of
Okay.
It sounds very intense.
Yeah.
Yes, I always play something very intense. As for the latest movie that is now, the last episode was on Friday. 7 episodes. I played a mom too. At the end, she died, and everybody cried. I mean, the audience, not me. I was dead already. Yes. So for the movies, they always call me when they need somebody who would be very, very dramatic. Not like
Strong actor.
Not like when I'm on stage singing French music, dancing and smiling. In the movies, I was somebody very contradictory to the image I had on stage for music.
What was your childhood like?
Childhood? Well, I was really, really sad and unhappy when I was little. I was born in central Vietnam, and my parents had to bring me to Hanoi and then to Saigon. I had a very happy life as a teenager. I became famous very young. I sang on radio when I was 12.
Wow.
My first role was when I was in 3rd grade in my Catholic school, playing Mother Mary.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in French.
Oh, wow.
So, I had a very pleasant teenager's time. In the North, I was not happy at all. I was prematurely born. I had only 7 months. And some people told that I would be dead after 3 days. But I
The
survived
nurse,
until now, because of my father. I love him so much. My parents passed away long ago. I came here alone, and I was struggling by myself. But now I'm happy with what I'm having, especially friends and fans out there. Hopefully you'll be my fans too. People who doesn't know me yet. Little by little, you'll know. And I'm very happy to know Chris. And Tiffany, I knew her long ago. And you, Christy, you are a very talented woman, I can tell.
Thank you.
You really love your job. It's a job for us. It's a job, but it's something we love with all our heart.
Yeah.
And we can live with that until the day we die.
Absolutely.
So, the pain you felt as a child, do you still use that to this day when you need to play a performance that's very serious?
I totally forget what happened in the North Vietnam. In North Vietnam, I was too little. What I remember was certainly the time after 75, when I had to leave my parents so many times with the boat people. And every time I left them, I'm going to cry right now if I talk about that.
That's okay.
So, it's hard to leave your parents when you love them so much, and it was hard for them to let you go. They understood my feelings. They let me go.
They loved you.
Yes.
She tried to escape the communist country many times.
And you finally did it.
Yeah, she finally get out.
Because I was an actor. I mean, at that time we call actress, but now we call everybody actors. I played in a movie produced by some people living in California, Vietnamese Americans living in California. And they invited me to come here as the lead actress for the premiere of the movie, and then I stayed.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. It's an incredible story.
Yeah, it's a tumultuous life. Yeah. Well, I cry very easily when I talk about something so sensitive, making me remember what I felt before. I kind of go back to that time.
Right.
And it wasn't easy to talk about the time you got arrested too. You tried to
I don't
escape.
want to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Nobody wants to talk about when
And
they're
nobody
arrested.
wants to see me cry all the time. Yeah. Well, I hope that one day we'll have the chance to work together.
Yes.
That's the great thing about this industry. You just never know when you're
You
going to
never
cross
know.
paths again. You
Right.
meet new people every day
Yes.
with projects like this. We're meeting new people every week, and who knows, maybe we'll be working together again in the future. And I'm excited about that. I think it's pretty interesting. I love meeting people all the time.
You know, in real life, I'm very sweet. I smile all the time. But when I play some character, I would like to be a little bit more active, arguing the whole time.
Dramatic.
Yeah, dramatic. Yes.
I like dramatic stuff.
Yes.
I'm a pretty laid back, easygoing person for the most of the time. But I like drama, and I like the idea of playing like the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yep. I am drama.
I do.
Drama queen.
Like, I just something about it, you know. I mean, I mean, being a hero is great, but I think without the bad person,
Yes.
the other person can't be the hero, right?
No.
Right.
And I think it's more difficult to play a bad guy.
The villain.
The villain, yes.
There's just something about the idea of being a villain that I really like. Yeah, as far as crawling into a character. Yeah.
Well, it's because it's, you know, for the most part, we always think of ourselves as good peoples. You know, we're
Yes.
the hero of our own story, right? And we always think that what we're doing is right, and the villain does too. That's the thing, is the villain always thinks that what they're doing is right. It's
He's right.
justified.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and I think that's
He has his own objective. Yes.
and most of the time, you know, the villain, I think it's fun because it's us, but like heightened, because it's coming most of the time. Their intention is coming from either a place of like deep pain or fear. You know, like fear that someone else is going to kill me, I have to kill them first, or pain, I'm so heartbroken, I need to get revenge. You know, it's like our basis level of humanity. It's like, you know, when we're really in pain or we're really scared, our natural instinct is to fight back, you know, or to get revenge.
Yeah, we kill them first.
Right, yeah. And so
Before they kill us.
but like normally we get over those thoughts and we're like, no, I'm going to be the bigger person. I'm not going to do that. And like that's what normal people who aren't like villainous do. And I think if we're not one of those people who gives in to our basest instincts, it's fun to play that and to give in to those things because we never get a chance to, you know, or we never let ourselves have a chance to. So it's nice to be like, okay, I'm going to have revenge
nice to
in
be
this.
bad.
Yeah, I'm going to
It's
have
nice to
revenge
be
in
bad.
this moment.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's nice to be bad. Yes, and sometimes you have to lose yourself, forget yourself. Lately, I played a mom, very old, very ugly, very unintelligent. But they did see that. They didn't find Thanh Lan anywhere in that character, and that's what
wonderful.
I tried to do.
It's fun to step outside of yourself and put on a different clothing, you know,
Yes.
a different person, and not be Christy for a while, you know.
Not for a while, for some months.
Yeah, right.
Well, Tiffany, we're at the top of the hour here.
Yeah. So you know,
I wish we had more time.
Oh
yes,
wow.
yeah. That's interesting. What
How
they
much
say,
time
you
do
know.
we have?
Not much time.
Well, you guys can still go.
We're slowly running out of time, but we have so much to talk about.
I know. I feel
Yeah.
like it's flown by so quickly.
Yeah, so
Maybe some other day, some other
Yeah.
episode.
does she
Yeah.
have time to do another song?
Let's do another song.
Yeah.
You are going to dance.
Are you going to belly dance?
When I was in Montreal, I visited a friend. He was taking belly dancing classes.
Oh, yeah.
And I went with her. It was something like, you have to do this first.
Yeah.
And then you have to have those symbols on your
Yes.
on your thumb
The
and your
symbol.
finger,
Yeah.
and you know,
Yeah.
Clang them.
I got
So-
a big one.
So, you,
I was
so you're going to
shy.
sing.
I
And-
was very shy. I would not dare to dance. I tried to sing first because it was on radio. Nobody was watching me. And then I continued with the singing on television. Just the camera, not a big audience. And then after that, I became a pro and I sang in front of thousands of people. Once I went to Tokyo, singing in Budokan Hall. It was a place with 10,000 people.
Wow.
Big, huh?
Wow.
Well, my life was full of surprises. Everybody's life is like that too.
So what are you going to sing?
You're going back to that
Yeah, sing a French song.
song.
A French song.
A song in French?
Oui.
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 Oui, bien sûr. French is my second language.
I'm a French model.
Really? No?
On the internet, I am.
Oh, yes. Great. But you look a little bit European. I cannot tell.
Well, we're kind of all from. I mean, my family originally was from Europe. You know, so my
Of
dad's
course.
side is from Sicily,
Sicily.
and my mother's side is from Poland and those areas of Europe. So I mean,
love
yeah, I
Poland.
am European, I guess, even though I was born in the U.S.
That's what I was trying to ask you, and you said you are American. I know that.
I'm a joke book because I got like Sicilian, Italian, and Polish, and it's like that's a joke book right there, waiting to be heard. You know? I
Okay,
mean,
I'm going to sing in French then.
okay.
But which one?
L'amour n'est pas-
Quand il me prend dans ses bras, il me parle tout bas, je vois la vie en rose. Il me dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours, et ça me fait quelque chose. That's enough.
I love that song.
I think I could listen to her sing all day.
Yes,
Thank
you
you.
can. You turn on her YouTube.
I
she
have
has all
more
these
fans
French
here.
songs.
Give me a little bit of rum and coke and a cigar, and I would just sit there.
Give me a
And-
man after midnight. You know, I can sing whatever song coming to my mind when you say something.
Sounds like a game show.
Yeah.
Sing that song.
Oh, thank you so
I
much.
don't remember. Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you, Chris, for inviting.
Christy, thank you. And you have
Thank
one
you.
of your movies premiering in Canada tonight.
Yes.
that's wonderful.
Canada
Great,
tonight,
great.
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
It's called Spring Break Nightmare. It's a Lifetime film, and it's premiering, I think, on Super Channel.
Oh, okay. Spring Break.
Yeah, in Canada.
Spring Break Nightmare, yes.
Is there a scary movie?
It's like a thriller. My
And you're looking for your daughter?
yeah, my daughter
Yes.
gets kidnapped, and so I go on a hunt to try to find her. Yeah.
Is there a lot of running?
Yes. A lot of running. In heels.
I am imagining you already.
Yeah.
Just like we in my Vietnam, the scene that we run
Yeah.
30, 40 times.
Oh my
yeah.
God, in the pagoda?
Yeah. yeah.
So-
Thank you so much. And
Thank you for having me. This has been really fun.
Thank you.
Tiffany.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
been
you,
a
Chris.
wonderful,
coming.
wonderful day being with everybody here.
Yeah.
It was fun
Yes.
chatting with you
Yeah,
guys.
very
yeah,
fun.
thank you so much.
And it's Lifetime.
Lifetime. You can watch Spring Break Nightmare on demand if you have Lifetime. Or also, I just had another movie premiere this month that's called Something's Brewing, and that is on Up TV. So,
Up TV.
yeah.
Okay, phenomenal. Thank you.
And that's a rom-com.
Thanks, Christy.
Romantic comedy.
All right.
Yeah.
And you
Christy Murdoch is rising.
Yeah.
And you can always look for Thanh Lan on YouTube, and she sing all these beautiful French songs. You will never get sick of it. Like he said, you can listen to it
Well,
all
I
day
have
long.
my own
YouTube channel.
YouTube channel. I had done more than 140 shows already.
Wow.
In the last 2 years, I have around 15,000 subscribers.
Nice.
I hope that you guys would be coming to me. It's easy to find. You search on YouTube and Thanh Lan, my name. THANH, not K. K is thank you. Lan is the orchid, LAN. Easy to remember. Yes. Thanh Lan show. That's
Yes.
it.
Yep. And I was
And
in
you'll
it.
find me
yeah.
there.
Oh, we can
And
see
I
Tiffany
will be
too.
in it. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah,
All
we had
great.
a show, but we speak in Vietnamese.
Do you have subtitles though, like subtext, so I could, read what you're saying?
I will add the subtitle.
Okay.
Okay. It's easy for me to do it. I do it myself.
Wow, you are
Yeah.
busy.
I
Talented,
am very busy.
busy.
And this Sunday morning, up with the lark. So I'm coming here with you guys, giving my time to you, Tiffany, because I love her so.
Well, we will definitely
Thank
have you
you.
back.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Hopefully, I will be healthy to come back.
You
will.
be.
You
will
will.
be. Because it's the year of the cat, so you will be back.
The cat. Yes, I have 9 lives this year.
That's right. We all have 9 lives, so use and have fun.
Yes, yes.
Well, thank you very much for watching our show, Filter 90211, and see you next